Hey, this is Kerry Sullivan with a How to Kick Ass in Sales.com video, and today is all about why you don't want to turn your power over to something else like the law of attraction, the government, or anybody else. I'll tell you why shortly. So I just finished listening to a great interview with a guy named Alex Lickerman. He's a PhD, and he just finished, or he didn't just finish, he wrote a book called The Undefeated Mind, and it's got a lot of great information in it. And he talks about the concept of, letting things be beyond you, right? So turning it over to the universe, or the law of attraction, or wishing for it. Or there's also the people that will be like, oh, Obama's gonna save us, or, Trump is gonna save us, whoever it may be, right? They put the power of what they want and having an awesome life outside themselves, right? And so I'll give you a really cool example of how this is a bunch of BS. So number one is that they gave all these people in a nursing home a plant. And they said, this plant is yours, right? And you have to take care of it. You got to water it, make sure it gets sun and all that good stuff. So what happened with these people, these old people, is they started to have dramatic changes in their life. A lot of them, had been in wheelchairs and they're up and walking. That didn't happen to everyone, but a lot of them. And they were just overall happier. And what happened is they found that because these people had a plant to take care of, on average, they were living 3 years longer than the other people in the nursing home in the same situation, right? So what does this have to do with what I was just talking about? Well, it's a good example of how when we take responsibility for something as humans, it drives us, right? It helps us get into our full potential versus us putting something outside of ourselves, right? And we don't have that kind of motivation or that kind of spark. Now, this is a cognitive bias that we can fall into, and I've talked about this with humans. We think that things happen, but for different reasons. Sometimes we think it's outside of ourselves when a lot more of it is controlled by us than we think, right? I'll give you a really good example of this. Dr. Wayne Dyer, he just passed away. He had a great message, but he had a really severe cognitive bias that he didn't realize. I was listening to an interview with him and Tony Robbins, right? That Tony Robbins had posted this week, and he was telling about his story about how he got out there and got his book out there and got started. And what happened is Wayne Dyer, he decided that he didn't like being a professor at the college he was at, and he left. And he's like, I'm going to get my book out there. And everybody thought he was crazy. So what he did is he got in his car, and for like 6 months, he was on the road living out of his car. And he was just doing interview after interview after interview. This was in the 70s, so, things weren't online where you could just do phone interviews or computer interviews or whatever it may be. And he was just going from TV station to TV station and doing, the AM radio and just all kinds of PR appearances all over the place. And he says, and he goes, and it was all just because I just put that energy out there and it all came to me and my book started to take off, right? And it's severe cognitive bias. That guy was out there and he was grinding and he was hustling that whole time. And Tony Robbins said, well, that's because, you put that effort in there. You were prepared for that to come to you because, you were hustling. You'd done the work and everything. And he's just like, no, it was because I put it out there. Bunch of BS. That guy was out there, he was hustling, he was grinding, right? Because he had something that was beyond him. He believed his message needed to get out there, right? And he was able to hustle and make it happen. Look, you can have if he had that same book and he just sat on his butt and he said, you know what, I'm just going to visualize this going out there and it's just going to come to me, and that's the way it's going to go. It's going to be nice and easy just like that, and that's the way it's going to go. Most likely, that book would have done nothing. We probably wouldn't even be talking about Dr. Wayne Dyer unless he had gone out there and day after day lived out of his car for months on end and doing all those TV appearances, and then things started to take off from there, right? And so never, your mind can play all kinds of wacky games on you. And I see this happen all the time with people with law of attraction and all these other weird things out there like that. So, and it's really not how we as humans raise into our full potential. It's when we take responsibility for things and we thrive under that pressure, and we have and we make that commitment to ourselves and to others that we fulfill our full potential. And that's how we really can go out there and utilize our minds, our bodies, and our spirits to the fullest. So this is Kerry Sullivan with another howtokickassinsales.com. Go out there, dream big, and hustle. You can do it. Bye-bye.